Hey everybody out there, it's Kevin Smitty Smith here. I'm beginning my solar campaign, living off-grid on a houseboat in Tennessee. I'm not fully off-grid. I do have shore power here at the dock, but part of my desire to have clean power was when I go out on the lake, I'd like to be able to use some powered appliances at 120 volts and not turn my house generator on. It's noisy, it consumes gas, plus with the solar I can recharge that for free and use quiet, clean power on the lake, which usually there's plenty of sunshine to recharge things. So the first thing I bought, I was going to buy an entire system and set up with an inverter, a battery bank, and I decided just to start simple and add from there. But I'm starting with the Bluetti, the MaxOak Bluetti EB240, which has tons of battery hours, and the only problem is the 1,000-watt inverter isn't enough to run everything. Well, most everything I have is under 1,000 watts, other than a few cooking utensils, and my coffee maker may or may not work. I haven't tried that yet, but I'll do a video on that, I think. Anyways, this is a video to see how my refrigerator works with the Bluetti and how long it may run. Anyways, I've got a Magic Chef 9.2 cubic small medium refrigerator. It's not the big one, it's not the little bitty one, but it's got the bottom freezer on it, and that's the one. So I'm going to go ahead, and I wanted to see how long I could run this thing on the lake, because usually you don't want your freezer to melt, everything to melt in the freezer when I'm out there, and when I go out I don't want to run my generator all day. So with this quiet battery, I can power stuff and recharge it with solar while I'm out, and charge through. So this first video I'm doing is going to be something that shows you how the Bluetti responds to this refrigerator with no shore power at all, just basically plugged right into it. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Magic Chef. Right now it's off, no lights in there. This thing actually stays pretty cool for a long time. It's a great refrigerator. It's a little noisy, but I like the bottom freezer because I don't access that kind of stuff as much as I do the fridge. Got the refrigerator plugged into the Bluetti, and right now let's kick the screen on to see what it says. We are drawing 87 watts, which is pretty good. I've got tons of headroom there. I know when the compressor turns on it may spike it a bit, but right now it's 87 watts, which is good. Okay, so the kilowatt meter basically shows you the high. When this refrigerator spikes and it kicks on, or the compressor, it goes up to about 950 watts, which is lucky because the Bluetti can handle that for a bit. And then now it's riding at 67.8 watts. So if this thing can run without kicking off the Bluetti, I'll be good. I think it will. Because the Bluetti will run for a minute or two with some of those spikes up to 1,200 watts. So right now we're looking good, 67 watts. It shows the kilowatt hours too. I'm not going to look at that. 109 volts and 0.79 amps. That's the low watts, and I'm going to leave this and not reset it so it'll show the next spike, and I'll show you that when it happens. Another thing I wanted to show you is the battery level. I just plugged the refrigerator in. It's drawn about 87 watts, and I was curious as to how long I could run this thing with the refrigerator. So right now the battery is still full, which is what I started with. If this is drawing 87 watts and on an average, this thing should run for 24 hours, right? 2,400 watt hours, divided by 100, I'm averaging that out, that's 24 hours. So we'll see how this thing holds up. I'm going to leave it plugged in. I'm going to go do some errands, and I'll come back later and show you the battery level and tell you how long it's been plugged in for that amount. Okay, so right now it's drawing 184 watts. It was normally running at about 80 watts, so I'm guessing that the compressor is on, and still a great number as far as keeping it low. So I'm glad that the refrigerator can run on a lower wattage and not blow this thing up. So, and the watt meter also says 180 or so, so it matches up, so that's a good sign. I like that. I'm a bit curious. The refrigerator is still plugged in, and now the unit reads 0 watts being drawn. Now the back meter says 189 watts being drawn. I know that when this thing goes below 30 watts, it won't show a draw. Maybe that's the DC. I'm not sure, but it's odd that this is not showing a draw anymore. I'm not crazy about that. It should be showing something. Well, good news. I was worried about something, but it's actually working perfectly as it's supposed to. When the fridge sits dormant and doesn't have anything running, it basically is below 30 watts, and it shows 0 on there. I'm pretty happy about that, which is great because it means this thing won't run as much, and I'll get more battery life because of that. So basically it spiked at about 900 watts when it kicked on, which is fine. As long as it's under 1200 watts, we're good. So at 105 watts right now, beautiful, love it. Okay, so it's been 12 hours. The MaxOak Bluetti EB240 was charged up to full capacity when I started. After 12 hours, I still have 3 lines of charge left. Clearly, I wish I knew better numbers. That's not a very great indicator. It's kind of a rough idea of what the charge still is. But after 12 hours, this thing has peaked at about 180 watts when the compressor kicked on, and has ran anywhere from 87 watts down to 0 when it just basically is dormant. So it's kept this refrigerator running for 12 hours. The test basically proves that at this point, for 12 hours, this unit has only half depleted approximately, and I will be solar charging these in the future, so that'll be another whole video, and hopefully I'll be able to charge this to keep the capacity of the battery up and let this thing run all night, at least a good part of the night, before I start charging again the next day. Been a great purchase so far, and I'm hoping to do other videos with other units that I'm going to plug in and see how they work, like a coffee maker and a few other units that are questionable. Anyways, that's it. So about a month ago, I decided that I wanted to add solar to my boat. It's a 36-foot holiday mansion, a small houseboat, and I wanted to run my appliances, especially a refrigerator and maybe some other things. The microwave probably isn't going to work. I'll have to get a smaller wattage microwave. Anything under 1,000 watts will run with the Bluetti, and it's got a huge battery capacity as far as what it is. You know, it's just a one-piece unit, and I wanted the longevity, so I can run my refrigerator for 12 to 24 hours just on a charge with no solar charging. So once I get panels put on this boat and get some different options for that, hopefully I'll be charging through all day and keeping the refrigerator running on the lake. And other things that I want to run, like lights, maybe a small coffee maker, and some other appliances that I can cook with that don't exceed 1,000 watts. Anyways, rather than turning on my gas generator to fire up any appliance, I can use this unit and to have clean, quiet power for everything. So I'll make more videos in the future about this stuff, and I'm kind of at the beginning of this journey, so it's been pretty exciting and it's fun, and hopefully nothing lights on fire, and I get some some good solar power going on this thing. So thanks for watching.